was the champion that year. Jamie came back last season, 2007, walked away with yet another gold medal. So like we just said, the question on everyone's mind is, can one of these guys post up a big enough score to try to take that away from him here in 2008? And the first guy we are going to see is Ben Snowden, rolling in for a run of 1 of 2. Basically, guys each get 2 45-second runs. It's best run counts. They're being judged on a 100-point scale.
Ben's really impressive rider. He rides everything: vert, park, dirt, street. He does it all, and he's always a threat, at least to the 10 cut, always making the final. But a really impressive guy.
See him doing airs going both directions. That's sort of the way that BMX vert riding has progressed these days. Guys going opposite directions, whereas in the past they favored one direction. They've turned. There's an opposite variation out of Ben there, and it's so smooth that it's really hard to tell. If you don't know Ben's riding style, it's really hard to tell which direction is his natural direction.
Yeah, he does. He's got a lot of versatility because he rides every form of BMX riding. He's got a nice run going here. The only thing Ben lacks is doesn't quite have the height to some of the heavy hitters and some of the bigger tricks like 540s and flares, but good overall performance from Ben Snowden.
Yeah, I was going to say, outside of the 540s and the flares, pretty much nowadays you got to have a flare and variations of it in your run if you're going to walk away with a podium finish.
Nice tail up there from Ben. He's happy to be here, happy to be having a good time.
82.75 sets the bar, and he's on the deck right now with our sideline reporter, Catfish.
Ben, you're one of the most versatile riders when it comes to doing opposite tricks. Can you at least share with the people what an opposite trick is?
It's basically going the complete wrong direction. That's the best way to put it. And it's especially tricky on a vert ramp because you have to lean so much.
Well, it really sets your runs apart because you're the only guy that switches it up almost every run.
I have a lot of fun doing it, and I love watching all the other guys. And Bestwick was a big influence on me, as well as Joe Rich, who did a lot of opposite stuff. So
awesome. Well, always killing it. Always great to watch you. Ben Snowden!
Well, there you go. We talked about opposite variations, and Ben Snowden helping us earn our paycheck by going a little more, delving into the subject a little deeper. It's going to bring up Francisco Zarita coming down the rolling here for run number 1, and he set a pretty big benchmark last year. He was the first guy ever to do a triple tail whip in a vert competition.
Yeah, he got it down, and he paid the price on that trick. He actually broke his ankle trying in another contest, but glad to see him back in action. He's one of the young guns in vert. He's got an awesome style. Well, kind of reminds me of a dirt rider with that style on vert, but he's really a lot of fun to watch.
He actually broke his ankle doing that in his first run of the X Games last year. That's what a way to break yourself into the X Games, no pun intended. There's a double tail whip.
Gets that one down clean. Another single tail whip.
He's got tail whip variations. He's also got really nice flares in his bag of tricks. He spends a lot of time training at the Western Camp Woodward facility. That was a turn down flare. Very solid run for Coco here.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I've ridden with him a few times up at Woodward West. Super fun guy to ride with. Nice full pull for Francisco.
Well, I'd have to say this is going to put him at the top of the leaderboard here. Look at this double tail whip, 2 revolutions of the frame of the bike, lands it clean.
Gets his feet back on the pedals right where he wants them. It's important so you can maintain the flow of your run and keep your speed. Watch how high he lands his X-up flare, late X-up there. Lands it high on the tranny and keep going.
But he definitely had to take some time off after breaking his ankle last season and rehab that thing. He's back in action here in 2008, looking solid with an 86.25. We are just getting started. We've got plenty more BMX Vert Finals still to go when we come back here for round number 1, including Jamie Bestwick. The LG Action Sports World Championships is brought to you by LG Life's Good, by Maxell, official sponsor of the Action Sports World Tour, by NPPL Championship Paintball 2009, EBSting.com, and by BFD.com. The biggest names in action sports are at BFD.com.
Stop already! Stop! You're becoming an officer of the law. All right, Ty, let's go. Stop!
Zach Wharton having a little fun outside the arena playing police officer, but here inside the arena getting set for run number 1, he's all about business.
Some of the guys coming up that I'm really looking out for is definitely Zach Warden from the progression point of view. He has so many crazy tricks that if he ever puts that run together where he puts all of his progressive tricks in there, then he's a definite podium contender.
I think he's going to turn a lot of heads because he's got some wonderful tricks, and he's got a wild style that's so unpredictable. You really don't know what he's going to do next.
He's got some crazy tricks, Steve, but he's also got time on his side. He is the youngest rider in the ranks of pro BMX vert riding these days, and the last couple of competitions I've seen him at, he's really been putting it together and throwing down some nice runs.
Yeah, the only thing Zach really needs, he's got so much potential, is to get a full run together. And like Simon and Jamie said, this guy is the future of vert. Just needs a little maturity and get his runs dialed in, but he's hanging out with Jamie and riding a lot, so I'm sure he's going to get there.
And there's one of those crazy tricks right there, the bike flip. You see Morgan Wade doing that in street or park competitions, I should say. You don't see anybody else doing that on vert. Zach's got another one that he's the only guy doing on the vert ramp. It's called the windshield wiper. It's a half tail whip, the tail whip back. There's a double tail whip, and every now and then you'll see this kid throw a hand plant into the mix.
Yeah, Zach has a lot of really original and cool tricks. Slowed down a lot there after that double tail, but looked like maybe his back wheel moved and slowed him down. He couldn't get his run back and going. But here's the bike flip. 360, spins it around in his hand.
Do you see him fumble the grab on the seat right there? His hand slipped off the seat.
And here's the double tail whip. Gets it around and looks like he has trouble finding the pedals. Lucky to be riding away from that one.
Definitely breathing a sigh of relief, and he walks away with an 85 flat.
That run was pretty manly. I don't know if you noticed, but when I did that bike flip, my hand magically went past my seat, and I caught my brake. And I was like, in the middle there, thinking that I'm going to land in manual tail tap of doom. But I'm happy I just rolled away from that thing.
That's going to bring up veteran vert rider John Parker. This guy's no stranger to this event. He's competed in it every year we've had it.
This year, I've been working on some new tricks. I learned a few new things. I've been having a lot of fun riding the bike, but it's been up and down. I did a little bit of touring, broke my leg, only my second broken bone ever, so that was an event this year. It took 2 weeks out of my life. And then I went on tour with the Huck Jam, Tony Hawk's Huck Jam. That was pretty fun. Some of the best riding I did this year. A couple demos were incredible. Boston, I still remember Boston. I remember you guys. That was a good one.
He's kind of downplayed that broken leg thing a little bit. He had actually ridden 2 or 3 stops on the Huck Jam with a broken leg. He was complaining about some soreness in the leg. He went and got an x-ray. It turned out the guy had been riding on a broken leg for 2 or 3 stops of the tour.
Yeah, John has a huge pain tolerance like most vert riders do, but the guy just doesn't get injured that often, and so I guess he doesn't know what one feels like.
And in the last couple of years of the Action Sports World Tour, he's taken a couple of crazy slams, a couple of hard knocks, and he's really sort of rededicated himself and come out swinging and learned some new things here in 2008.
Going huge right now, way out of the ramp, normal John Parker style, lots of tricks back to back.
Yeah, one thing that John has on his side, the height factor. He'll start off at a decent height, and he'll maintain that throughout the flow of his run. You'll see other guys tend to lower some of their tricks. He's got big 540s, and the flares have come back big for him the last 2 years.
Nice double tail whip there, right out of a 540, and he's going to call that one. Nice first run for Parker.
And another thing, too, he's not really back on the bike too long after recovering from that broken leg.
No, you can just see all the skill that's built up over years and years of riding. Some of these guys can come back after an injury and just like it never happened. Perfect landing on that 5 for John, right at the top of the ramp where he wants to be. Double tail whip, finds the pedals quickly.
Pretty happy about that run. A solid score. Gets him an 86.25, and that has him in a tie right now for first place with Francisco Zarita. Keep in mind, we are in the middle of round number 1. We still have yet to see the likes of Chad Kagi, Simon Sabron, or Jamie Beswick. Plenty more BMX vert action still to come. In addition to all the high-flying action taking place on the ramp inside Key Arena, the fans were also treated to a live musical performance on the Maxell stage by Hoobastank.
The LG vert ramp's about 14 foot all. So out of all the vert ramps we ride every year, to me this is the best one. Just